talk about history, I am standing in the Old Granary Burial Ground, which is one of the most celebrated, famous, old, kind of creepy cemeteries in Boston. There are a lot of famous people who are buried here. Old Mother Goose. That huge monument in the center is for the Franklin family. Samuel Adams is here. And also Crispus Attucks. And you might ask, Miss Checka, why is Crispus Attucks here? Who is Crispus Attucks? He wasn't a signer of the Declaration of Independence. He didn't come on the Mayflower. He wasn't the president. Why is he here? The answer is Crispus Attucks was a really important guy in our nation's history. He was the first person to die at the Boston Massacre, which turned into a really galvanizing event for the colonists against the British. So Crispus Attucks was black. He was a slave. He escaped. He came to Boston and he lived and worked here for about 20 years. Like a lot of other citizens of Boston, he really did not like the British. Pretty much nobody liked the British. Around the time of the massacre, there were thousands of British soldiers that flooded the city. They were very visible because of their really bright red coats. People used to call them lobster backs. They had imposed all of these fines and rules and taxes, and they just weren't very popular at all. So when Samuel Adams, who is a rabble-rouser, made the call for people to go out kind of protest against them, Crispus Attucks was right there. So he and a lot of other people ended up in kind of a mob or a brawl in front of the Customs House on the night of March the 5th, 1770. And today, as I'm standing here, it's October. It's actually a beautiful day in Boston. It's, kind of sunny and pretty, but in March, it's cold here. The sun sets really early. So on the night of March 5th, 1770, it was just a nasty night. It was very cold, it was very icy. In Boston, there's still snow on the ground in March. So when this crowd starts gathering and, people are shoving each other, people are yelling at the soldiers are yelling back. Some historians have, I think it's kind of a wacky theory, but a thought that the original altercation started because one of the British soldiers hadn't paid the bill on his wig. In the 1700s, men all wore these kind of fancy white wigs. And the captain of the soldiers, looking out into this chaos, yells out, "Don't shoot, don't shoot." And people from the crowd were yelling "Yeah, shoot, go ahead." And just to emphasize, it was very dark. This is the 1700s, so it's not like there's street lights outside. It was very dark. It was very, very chaotic. And sure enough, British soldier fires. He hits Crispus Attucks, and Crispus Attucks lies dead on the ground. Then boom, 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 boom. 2 17-year-olds are shot in the back. They die immediately. It makes 3. One other guy is also killed right there on the spot. He was a rope maker, well-known troublemaker, and then the 5th guy dies later. So these 5 men are killed right in front of the Customs House, and Crispus Attucks becomes the most famous of them all. That is why he is buried here, because he was sort of the first casualty in a way, and his death also became really symbolic. I think for modern people, it's also very poignant that he was an escaped slave, because in the end, the American Revolution, as we know, doesn't end up abolishing slavery. So that's pretty terrible. But anyway, Crispus Attucks is buried in the corner, right back there, right next to Samuel Adams. And both of their graves are facing the street. So every day, tens of thousands of people walk past and can see the graves of Crispus Attucks and the other men who died in the Boston Massacre. So next, I'm going to take this camera and we're going to go over and see the spot where the massacre happened. And I'm going to have to talk fast because it is in the middle of the busiest parts of downtown. So let's head over.